Hello everybody, right, welcome to this drawing flying boxes video. This is what they're going to look like at the end, and you are going to learn about vanishing points and horizon lines and how parallel lines converge. So you'll need a ruler and a sharp pencil, and you're going to draw a horizon line. Now the horizon line is really important because that is basically representing our eye level. And don't worry if you don't understand everything I'm saying now, it will all become clear. We are then going to mark a vanishing point, which is going to be roughly in the middle of our horizon line. And as you'll see from this photograph, the vanishing point is a sort of concept where all the parallel lines converge at the end. So they don't really do that in real life, it just looks to us like they do. So we know that this road doesn't necessarily end in a point, but on our drawing, which is a flat two-dimensional surface, it does. So the next thing we're going to do is draw some boxes onto our piece of paper. And we're going to make these boxes seem like they're receding in space or coming out at us from space, from the vanishing point. So I've speeded it up here so that you can get a sense of what I'm doing and what you're going to do, which is just draw several boxes, at least 4. Try at least 4 and keep those vertical lines vertical and the horizontal lines horizontal. So the horizontal ones are parallel with the horizon line. Now, the next thing we need to do is draw lines from the vanishing point to the corners that are closest to the vanishing point. So you can see what I'm doing here. Got my nice sharp pencil because I need to make sure I'm being accurate. And I'm going to just draw on each box, I'm going to draw these lines. So you can already begin to see on that first box how the lines are how it's making the box look as if it's coming out at you. And I'm trying to be really accurate, get those points meeting up with the vanishing point. Those corners. Whoops, bit of a wibble there. Keep your rubber handy. You can't really do this with a pen. Do it with a pencil, and do it with a rubber, and do it with a ruler. If you can't find a ruler, you'll have to make one out of a book. So I've got my third one to do here. Every single corner needs to meet up with the vanishing point. Now, I'm not doing the furthest away corner there because I'll do that in a minute to show you how I'm going to make the box transparent. Let's just do our 4th box. You'll be able to do this with more and more complex shapes when you get the hang of it. Right, the next thing to do is actually make them into proper boxes. So we're going to do parallel lines with the horizon and vertical lines. Make sure they're really nice and straight with each other. So I'm using the lines I've already got to work out what angle they should be at. So there we go. That looks more like a box now, and I'm going to rub out the lines that lead to the vanishing point. These lines are called, well, they have lots of different names. They could be called perspective lines, they could be called orthogonal lines, they could be called construction lines or depth lines. Take your pick. So I'm going to speed up here because it's boring for you otherwise. I want to make these all look like proper boxes, which means making sure that I've got the back planes of them in. So I've got to put more vertical lines and more parallel lines in. And I'm also going over some of my lines as I get more confident about my shapes, which you can do. And I'm rubbing out the depth lines. Now they're looking much more like boxes, aren't they? Proper 3-dimensional boxes. The other thing I want to think about is, where are these boxes in relation to my height or my eye level? So you can just see that the one on top there, we can actually see the underneath side of that. So we're looking from below because it's above the horizon line. Those ones on the bottom, both of those, we can actually see their tops, their top plane. So we're above them because our viewpoint or vanishing point is above them. And this one here, this last one on the left, this is actually exactly on our eye line, on the horizon line. So it's pretty much the same height as us. So we're looking at it flat on. Right, so the next thing I'd like to do is show you how to make them look a bit transparent. Oh, I've added in another box there as well, just to show you how you can still use your lines, your depth lines, to make other boxes on the same plane as that front one. So we're going to make a few transparent now, just these bottom ones. And I'm doing a dotted line so that you can tell the difference between the lines that are nearer to us and the lines that we can't actually see, because if the box was solid you wouldn't be able to see the back of it, would you? But this is just to show you that those orthogonal or depth lines still line up with the vanishing point. And we'll just do the other one as well. You've just got to make sure you get your vertical lines and horizontal lines at the back in the right place. So let's start with a horizontal line. I'm looking for the corner. I'm going across here. I'm going down there with my dotted line to show that I can't actually see it. And then this one is the one that lines up, oops, not quite, with the vanishing point. Yeah, there we go. This is why you've got to get all your perspective, all your vertical and horizontal lines quite accurately. Vertical and horizontal. Don't be slapdash, definitely use a ruler. Now we need to think about our light source to make them look more realistic. So let's say the light is coming from the sun, which is kind of above and it's maybe a bit behind, so behind these boxes. Where will the dark bits be? Let's shade them in. Well, they'll be underneath because the light isn't coming from underneath, it's coming from above, which means the bottoms will be dark. And on the next box, well, we can't see that side because of our location of where we are, so I won't colouring it anything there. And on this one, that would be the dark side. So I want you to see if you can work out where you should add tone on your boxes. So that's the task for the week. You are to draw flying boxes like this, and you are to add tone depending on where the light's coming from. And if you want an extra challenge, try more complex shapes like these. And next week we will attempt to do a street scene.